now the international reaction, mostly Middle Eastern reaction to what's happening in Israel and the West Bank. Ruth Wasserman, Lande is with us here. Good evening.
Good evening.
Let's talk about the usual and the unusual.
Absolutely. Well, we had a very difficult day. There was another terrorist attack in the streets of Tel Aviv against innocent civilians. 8 and more people were injured. Not easy. It happens so often, Yaakov, that really it's a very difficult reality in which to live. And yet we see the entire world choosing in a very odd fashion to point a finger at the IDF that go into what seems to be an infestation of terrorism in Jenin, trying to simmer down, not even clean out, but simmer down the illegal weapons, the warring, planning of terrorist activities, and the entire world points a finger at that instead of saying, how come innocent civilians that were literally hurting no one are being killed and hurt and on almost a weekly basis?
And now you have those condemnations by Middle Eastern nations and others. As I said, usual, pretty much the same thing happened all the time.
Look, condemning violence is legitimate. Understanding the situation is very, very simple. The question is whether one wants to understand it or does not want to understand it. I'm a liberal politician. I'm in the opposite camp to the current governing coalition, and I feel that the entire world is pointing a finger in a very hypocritical manner at the people that are keeping the sanity, keeping the stability, trying to get those who harness death, harness terrorism away.
But you have the Arab countries that are committed to the Palestinian issue, obviously. And
are they committed to the Palestinian issue?
Let's talk about it.
Or are they committed to the declarative aspect of the Palestinian issue? Look, the Palestinians have it hard. They have a really, really poor leadership. Now, it doesn't mean that our leadership is perfect. It's far from perfect. God knows I say this on every opportunity. But their leadership is either horribly corrupt in the West Bank or terribly, terribly terrorist-oriented in the Gaza Strip. And they have to live under that. Now, in those terrible circumstances, young people, those who are called civilians in all the condemnations, carrying automatic weapons. This is not a peaceful civilian living in Jenin. By the way, the peaceful civilians were escorted out of the camp. They were escorted out by UNRWA, by the UN. They were not left there to be killed, God forbid. And I wish for them to be safe. But what about the others who plan to make terrorist attacks day and night?
As for the Western world, maybe it's difficult to grasp the details. They see images, and Israel has been dealing with this for years. They see troops, they see sometimes tanks or air raids on civilian population or civilian towns, and they don't get the details.
You know, it's not that difficult. In the UK, there were terrorist attacks, and they acted very, very stringently against them. In Madrid, there were terrorist attacks, and they were acted against in a very stringent manner. Paris is burning, literally. Everything is being destroyed. Not that the occurrence wasn't terrible, difficult, sad, but Paris is burning. People are saying in the Netherlands, Muslim, Islamic people, not all Muslims, God forbid, but extreme Islamists are saying, we don't care for the Dutch law. We are here to carry out Sharia law, which is fine as long as you adhere to the civilian law of the country. These countries need only open their eyes to their own streets in order to understand what is happening here.
What's your take on the UAE's reaction, on the Saudi reaction? That we just got a reaction from Saudi Arabia a few minutes ago, and that took some time.
First of all, it took some time because I feel that they, on the one hand, feel that they need to make a condemnation, but they understand. The UAE acts extremely stringently against people that belong either to the Muslim Brotherhood, as those people that we act against in Jenin. They belong to the Hamas. The Hamas is literally a brother or a sister organization of the Muslim Brotherhood. These countries are very strong on the people that act against them in any militant manner. They understand and comprehend. The declarative aspect is something else.
Ruth, thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Yaakov.
Thank you.